Welcome to The Explainer. Over the next few minutes, we're going to crack open a genuine blueprint for what makes teaching, well, great. We're going to distill the core principles that can help turn anyone who has to teach something into a real expert.
So let's just jump right in with the big question. What really separates a good teacher from a truly great one? I mean, is it just about being passionate or having a ton of knowledge? Or, as we're about to see, is there actually a science to it?
Okay, so our guide for this is fascinating. This isn't just some dusty textbook. This is the official manual on the principles of teaching from India's Ministry of Skill Development. Think about that. It's a national-level blueprint designed to build a world-class workforce. Let's see what's inside.
And our journey begins in the only place it really can, inside the learner's mind. Because, look, before you can teach anything at all, you have to understand who you're talking to and, how their brain is actually wired to take in information.
The manual kicks things off with a simple but honestly profound truth. Everyone is wired differently. A great instructor doesn't fight this, they use it. Are you teaching an introvert who's going to crush a written assignment or an extrovert who comes alive in a group discussion? Just recognizing this is step one.
Now, let's get into a little bit of the core psychology here. The manual points to the super powerful, almost automatic learning process that's just hardwired into all of us. Classical conditioning. You've probably heard of it, Ivan Pavlov. It's all about how our minds create these powerful links between things that don't even seem related.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. So Pavlov noticed that a dog naturally drools when it sees food, right? So he started ringing a bell, a totally neutral sound, right before feeding time. He did this over and over and over again, and the dog's brain literally forged a new connection. Pretty soon, just the sound of the bell was enough to make the dog drool. Now, for a teacher, this is huge. It proves that the learning environment itself, the signals, the routines, can trigger positive, automatic responses in a student.
Okay, so we've got a handle on the learner. Now what? How do we actually build the lesson? Well, that brings us to part 2, going from a big picture syllabus to a really sharp, effective lesson plan.
The whole engine behind this is India's National Skills Qualification Framework, or NSQF, and its purpose, as you can see from this quote, is crystal clear. Make absolutely sure that what you learn in the classroom connects directly to getting a job in the real world. Every single lesson has to have a purpose.
And listen, this right here, this is a total game changer for anyone who teaches. The manual makes this brilliant point. Vague goals like the student will understand something are basically useless. Why? Because you can't see understanding. Great teaching needs action verbs. Can the trainee label the parts? Can they measure the results? Can they repair the engine? That is how you define success in a way you can actually see and measure.
So how do the pros build these powerful lessons? They don't just wing it. They use a structured system, something like the ADDIE model. It's a really smart cycle. You start by analyzing who you're teaching and what they really need. Then you design the actual learning journey. You develop all the materials, you implement the training, and, this is key, you close the loop by evaluating if it actually worked. It's a whole system designed to make sure every lesson hits the mark.
So, we understand our learner, and we've got a solid plan. Now it's time to open up the toolbox. Welcome to Part 3, the Instructor's Toolkit.
You know, a great learning space isn't just organized, it's intentionally designed to make learning easier. The manual introduces this amazing system for this called 5S. It's all about sorting out the junk, setting everything in its proper place, and keeping the space shining clean. But it's not just about being tidy. By standardizing and sustaining this whole system, you create this calm, focused environment where students can just learn.
And of course, the tools we use have changed a lot. I mean, we've gone from the classic chalkboard to super slick digital presentations. But the manual asks a really critical question. Does fancier tech automatically mean better teaching?
And the manual has a really sharp warning here. Tools like PowerPoint are incredibly powerful, but they are also a trap. The guide is crystal clear. The single worst mistake an instructor can make is turning their back on the class and just reading their slides word for word. The tech is there as a visual aid, not a script. It's meant to support the teacher, not replace them.
So this brings us to our final part, and you could argue it's the most important one. We've delivered the lesson, but did it actually work? How do we know? How do we evaluate the outcome? To answer that question, the manual brings out the big guns, a professional framework called the Kirkpatrick model.
Think of it as a 4-level pyramid for figuring out if your training was actually effective, and it goes way beyond a simple pass or fail test. Let's break these 4 levels down. Level 1 is reaction. This is basically the smile sheet. Did the students like the course? It's easy to measure, but it's pretty shallow. Level 2 is learning. Okay, did they actually pass the test? Did they absorb the information? Better, but that's still not the whole story. The real proof starts at level 3, behavior. Are they taking what they learned and actually using it back on the job? And then, the holy grail, level 4, is results. Did that new behavior lead to a measurable positive impact, like better sales or fewer mistakes? That is the ultimate goal of all great teaching.
And achieving that pinnacle, getting real, tangible results, brings us all the way back to the core message of this entire manual. As you can see from this quote, this was never about teaching one person one thing. It's about building an entire national skill ecosystem, and great instructors are the foundation of that entire system.
So what's the final takeaway? Well, we live in an age where we have endless, infinite information at our fingertips, so access isn't the problem anymore. The real challenge, the one this entire blueprint is built to solve, is how we share all that knowledge effectively. Because when you think about it, what good is all the information in the world if we can't pass it on?